I never got to mourn Charlie publicly like everyone else. And
Welcome to my channel, everyone. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of these wild breakdowns. Today, we're diving straight into the chaos that's blowing up X right now, the full-on Dan Bongino versus Dave Smith feud. Dan Bongino had been away for about a year, doing a job he had already agreed to take on for that time period. Once that year was over, he came back to X and made a post. In that post, Bongino did not name anyone. He didn't tag anyone. He didn't directly call anyone out. It was a general statement. But comedian and podcaster Dave Smith saw the post and responded publicly, saying that Bongino was clearly talking about him. That's where things shifted. Once Dave Smith claimed the post was about him, Dan Bongino fired back directly at Dave, and from that point on, the situation escalated fast. Bongino accused Dave and others of rage posting, missing the news cycle. Replying to at Comic Dave Smith, Bongino said hilarious that you not only missed the news cycle for the past year, but that you also knew you were the moron referenced in the post. Watching you advertise your dipshittery on a series of debates over the past year was my guilty pleasure while I was working. Now go back to your mama's spare room and write me some jokes. And get your shine box too. My shoes got a scuff last night while lighting up the live stream while your clowns were rage posting. Bongino accused Dave and others of rage posting, missing the news cycle, and claiming that nobody would watch his content. Then, when the live stream actually performed well, Bongino said those same critics flipped the narrative and tried to take credit for the attention. The first show Dan did was the top live stream in America, as you can see the number on the screen. Journalist Carol Markowicz reposted Bongino and added fuel to the fire. Bongino highlighted that many black pillars won't attack Trump directly because they know they'll lose. Instead, they target Trump's allies as proxy fights. What they call criticism is really political cannibalism. Internal disagreement is normal, but endless pessimism meant to sabotage the movement isn't. Tell me, what is your position in this feud? I will let you watch as Bongino talk about Charlie, and also Dana torched Megyn, Kelly, and Tucker. Please like the video. Thank you.
So what are some of the big podcasters talking about? I'm sure they're all over this story, aren't they? Let's play it. Aren't they all over this story? Let's play cut 23. Let's just see if they're focusing on these very important stories as well. This is cut 23, please.
He's very interesting and he's very smart. And on a lot of things, there is value to be derived from that guy's messaging. I'm sorry, but he actually has a lot of things he talks about that you're like, oh, this is not a bad point about our country.
So that is, and I'm friends with both of them, friendly with both of them, Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson. And they're discussing Nick Fuentes. Oh, and that was just yesterday, wasn't it? I mean, it seems like there's a lot of stuff happening that apparently they're not talking about. That's kind of interesting. I'm curious as to what is the value to be derived from Nick Fuentes? What specifically are the points that he's making that are any good? Is it when he talks about how he effed TPUSA and then he gyrated on the camera like he was physically sodomizing it? Is that what he's talking about? Is that the fair point that he's making? Or is it when he's talking about how much he loves Stalin and admires Stalin? Is that a fair point? Is that one that people find community with? Or when he praises Hitler and says Hitler was a cool guy. Hitler actually, he was a weak fag. That's what Hitler was. And he was horrible at strategy, which is why he got his backside handed to him multiple times. And he got fooled by inflatable tanks because of the Ghost Army, but whatever. So, really? We're supposed to find great insight from a gay Nazi twink who talks about how much he loves Stalin and only understands just like the top layer, the top foam of history. Okay, I mean, I guess anybody will do anything for clicks now. Good night. Or what about, maybe, I don't know, maybe it's later on. Let's be fair. Maybe it's later on in that discussion. Let's go ahead and play cut 21. Go ahead.
And then came Candace Owens.
Oh.
And that she really drives people crazy. She drives them crazy. They were very angry that I didn't call her out for what she said about Israel possibly being involved with Charlie Kirk. Well, I didn't call her out because I was totally fine with those questions being raised and still am. I'm sorry, but I am. I'm sick of this bullshit. I am allowed to have questions about what, if anyone, aligned with Israel or from Israel might have had to do with Charlie's death.
That's a fake out. No one's questioning anybody's speech. They're questioning the logic behind it. And a failure to be able to logically defend the motive, that's not anyone calling anybody out for using their free speech. They're just pointing out that it seems silly and anti-Semitic for the sake of anti-Semitism. She wasn't questioning either. She was just making declarations that were crazy, kooky, and were completely and utterly debunked. Like, I mean, do we want to talk about all the plane stuff? Because she apparently couldn't even read flight paths. I mean, that's kind of embarrassing. And that's probably why nobody's listening to her podcast anymore. People listen to it a lot in the beginning, Candace Owens' stuff, because it's like, you drive slowly past a car wreck, or for the same reason people watch The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. You were just wondering how far this nuttiness is going to go. But then, after a while, especially when you fail to deliver receipts, that interest wanes. And criticizing that is not the same thing as criticizing someone's speech on it. And pointing out that someone doesn't regularly call out and isn't consistent in this. And I think that's the big thing. I don't understand why people go after, for instance, Ted Cruz if they don't like something that he says, while proclaiming no enemies on the right, and that's okay. But criticizing someone like Owens or Fuentes is apparently, that's not allowed to happen. Because that's the gatekeeping that's happening. You're being told that you're not allowed to criticize the backwoods, single-cell, almost incestual product of thinking that is demonstrated by Owens and Fuentes on their podcast. You're not allowed to criticize that. And if you criticize the people that platform it or that air it and then don't even do their due diligence of asking tough questions about it, you're accused of trying to cancel that individual or control their speech. We're just simply pointing out the inconsistency and the hypocrisy of criticizing some and not criticizing everyone, or pretending that you're a hard ass and that you ask tough questions, but then when you have someone that called your friend's wife a Jeet and you don't even ask them about that, that seems like that's cowardice. That's not journalism. That's being a female copulatory organ. That is being afraid that you're going to lose clicks from that audience, and you're being a digital prostitute, and you're too afraid of losing that digital share, that slice of the pie for audience. People are talking about the inconsistency, and it is, I find it to be an obscenely intellectual dodge to complain that somehow asking for consistency is the same thing as trying to cancel someone. I mean, people need to stop flattering themselves. No one is calling to cancel anyone. They're simply remarking accurately on the inconsistency and not asking hard questions of everybody. I feel like that's pretty safe. I mean, I don't have to depend on anybody. I don't have to depend on Qatari investors. I don't have to depend on, business partners or anybody else in order to make my bottom line. And I would never debase myself by trying to pander to the audience of a Nazi twink in order to make my daily bread, so I don't have to play those reindeer games, so to speak. So I just think it's just completely unfair to present a refusal of consistent practice as it pertains to hard questioning as being canceling. It's not. It's not that at all. People should know better. Speaking as friends.